Hello everybody and welcome back to another 90-minute yin yoga class. Today's routine is all about getting a deep stretch. So this is perfect if gaining flexibility is one of your goals or if your muscles are feeling very stiff and tight. This will also be a great routine just to relax and enjoy some long-held yoga poses as well. You will need a strap for this routine, so if you have a yoga strap, that would be great. If you don't, you can just use a belt or any object that resembles a strap. As always, you might keep some yoga blocks nearby or a bolster if you have one, but don't worry too much if you don't have those items. We'll begin today in Tadpole or a wide-knee child's pose. And then there will be an option to get an even deeper stretch with frog pose. So let's begin in our tadpole pose. You can have your toes close together. Take your knees as wide apart as feels comfortable for you. This is going to help to open up the hips. If this feels very uncomfortable sitting back on your feet, you can place a yoga block or a cushion in underneath. Then we'll bring our forehead to the mat. If it doesn't make it, again, you can put a yoga block or a cushion there, or you can rest your forehead onto your hands. This time we'll stretch our hands to the front of the mat, only as far as feels comfortable for you, just helping to gently open up through the shoulders as well. The hardest part is over now that you've made it to your mat. All you have to do is act as the quiet observer here. Observe your breath coming in and out of your body. And also observe all of the sensations that are arising within your physical body. There's an option now to go a little bit deeper into this stretch and come into frog pose. Remember, yin yoga is all about accepting the body where it is. We never want to push or force anything. And we even want to stay at around 50 to 60% of our capacity. So even if you could go into frog pose, it doesn't always mean you should go into frog pose. So listen to your body, accept it how it is. And if you want to stay here in this wide-legged child's pose, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you do feel as though your body is inviting you to go that bit deeper, you can come into frog pose by lifting your hips back up. Keep your knees nice and wide apart, and they might go even a little bit wider this time. Have your toes pointed away from you if that feels good. And then you can come down onto your elbows. Check in with your body. Maybe it's happy to stay here. Maybe this is your first edge. But if you are being invited to go that bit deeper, you might be able to pull your hips back slightly. So you're starting to feel a bit more resistance around your inner thighs. We'll be here in frog pose for the next 2 minutes. If you feel as though you need to come out of the pose sooner, if you're feeling pain or extreme discomfort, or if you just feel as though you've gone beyond 50 to 60% of your capacity, you can always come out of the pose sooner. So find your breath wherever it is. Simply notice it coming in and out of your body. And train your awareness to pay attention to all of the sensations you're feeling, especially around your groin, your hips. If you wish to go even deeper into frog pose, you can bring your chest down onto the mat or onto the floor and maybe even stretch your hands out in front of you. Savor your last few breaths wherever you are. And you can slowly come out of the pose and come to sit on the mat. Perhaps cross-legged or whatever way feels best for you. And we'll just take a moment here, maybe with the eyes closed, and just feel the echo of the pose around your body. Notice what frog pose has brought to your being today. We'll bring our focus up into the upper body now with Anahatasana. So come onto your knees again. If your knees are feeling sensitive on the mat at any point, you can always fold over the mat to create some more padding. And then we're stretching our hands towards the front of the mat. From here, drop your chest down. Your forehead might come to the mat. If it doesn't, you can place it on a cushion or a yoga block. And if you are looking for a really deep stretch and if your body agrees, then you can bring your chin onto the yoga mat. But remember, no more than 60% of your capacity. You'll start to feel Anahatasana around your chest and your upper back, within your shoulders as well. So again, you're training your awareness to be really interested in these sensations. How would you describe them to someone who has never done a yoga pose before? Is there a certain word or a color or even an energy that you could use to describe these sensations? If the pose becomes too intense, you can take your hands back closer to your body. And if at any point you start to feel numbness or tingling in your hands, that's also a sign that you should take your hands a little bit closer to you. We'll be here for 5 minutes in total. Opening up your heart, your shoulders, your upper back. Try your best to be that quiet, patient observer. And we'll take our last few breaths here in Anahatasana. If your mind drifted away during that pose, don't worry. Just bring it back now. Focus on those breaths. Feel all that you feel within your body. And we'll release the pose by slowly coming to lie on the front of your body. If you feel the urge to ever let out a big sigh, feel free to do that in yin yoga or at any time. It's your body just getting rid of whatever it was holding on to. And we'll let ourselves digest that pose now by coming into crocodile pose. So bring the toes of your feet, bring your big toes together and then let your heels drop out towards the edges of your mat. And you can make a pillow for your head to rest on by stacking your hands on top of each other. And then bring either one of your cheeks or your forehead down to rest onto your hands. We'll stay here for the next minute. Now we're going to get a nice deep stretch into our right shoulder by bringing the right arm over to the right side of the mat. And we want to have it at a 90-degree angle to the body if possible. If not, just do whatever feels good for you. And then very mindfully, we'll roll over onto the right hip. You can relax your head back down onto the mat. And your left foot might naturally come back behind you, acting like a sort of kickstand here. We just want to go to our first edge, that first point of resistance, and stay there. And then with time, if the body invites us to go that little bit deeper, you can push away from your left hand and put a little bit more of your body weight into that right shoulder. Always being mindful, never pushing or forcing. We'll stay here for the next 5 minutes. As we hold the pose here, we'll remind ourselves of the second principle of yin yoga, and that is stillness. So with the exception of going in deeper to the pose or coming out of the pose because you feel pain or too much discomfort, then we want to be still. So no fidgeting, no looking around, no thinking too much. So if you find yourself hopping around in your mind, then try to come back here to your body, back to your breath. And if you do notice that you're getting a little bit agitated and fidgety, then challenge yourself here to be still. Resist those urges. We'll be here for about 2 more minutes. It's time for us to slowly come back to center. And when you are there, come back into crocodile pose, making that pillow with your hands, bringing your big toes to touch each other, and rest here for 1 minute. We'll repeat that pose on the opposite side now. So you can just stretch your left arm out to the left. And then mindfully roll over onto your left hip. And we'll stay here for 5 minutes. You might think about rolling your bicep onto the floor here. Rotating your arm in a way to get a little bit of a deeper sensation into your shoulder. But again, it's always about what feels good for you. Take your last few breaths here in the pose. As you're ready, you can slowly come back to crocodile pose. We'll stay here for the next minute. Now it's time for us to get a nice deep back stretch. We'll do that with either Sphinx pose or seal pose. Because this is a deep stretch routine, I'm going to do seal pose, but of course you're welcome to just stay in Sphinx if you're looking for something a little bit less intense. So you can spread your feet wide apart and then bring your hands next to your chest. Slowly lift up until your arms are straight-ish, and you might turn your fingers away from your body. You can look straight out ahead, or to go deeper into seal pose, you can gaze diagonally up. And we'll be here for 5 minutes. As always, if 5 minutes becomes too much, you can come out of the pose earlier and just rest in crocodile pose. Connect to your breath and notice how it feels different now coming in and out of your body. Become really interested in the sensations you're feeling. Maybe feeling the pose around your lower back and your spine. This is a pose where stillness might be challenged. You might be feeling fidgety. Try your best to stay still. If your mind starts jumping around, bring it back to your breath. And focusing on your breath will help you to find stillness in your mind. Wherever you are, take your last few breaths. And then we'll slowly come back down onto the mat. Big ah here. When you're there, you can rest in crocodile pose. Big toes finding each other again. Just feel the echo of the pose in your body. You can slowly come back up out of the pose, finding yourself in a seat on the mat again. The next pose that we'll practice is saddle pose. So this gets a really nice deep stretch into your quads and your psoas muscles. You might use props for this one, so you can have a yoga block nearby. You can sit on this. And if you want to go into the reclined version of this pose, you might place a bolster on your mat. So this pose looks different for everyone. We all have different pelvic bone structures. So it might help you to sit on a yoga block. Personally, it doesn't help me. So I'm just going to sit in between my feet. And this might be as far as you go into the pose. This might be your final edge, and that's fine. You can just stay seated. If your ankles are feeling very tight here, you might roll up a blanket and put them in underneath. Now, if you feel as though you're being invited deeper into the pose, you can very slowly start to lie backwards. Maybe just resting on your elbows for a while, maybe coming all the way down. We'll stay here in saddle pose for 5 minutes. And take your last few breaths wherever you are, noticing how they feel in your body. And we'll come out of the pose slowly now, eventually bringing your feet back out in front of you. And we'll release the pose with some windshield wipers so you can widen your feet and just drop your knees from side to side. We'll practice shoelace with Cowface arms now. So this is where you will need your strap. So keep that nearby. You're welcome to sit up on a yoga block or a cushion here. And then we'll stretch both legs out in front. First, bring your right foot to the outside of your left hip. And you can stay here in half shoelace. But if you want to go deeper, you can also bend that left knee. So you're bringing your left foot beside your right hip. Make sure you're not sitting on your feet so you can wiggle around until you find that right position. We'll just stay here for about a minute, letting everything drop down into your hips. Feel all that you feel, observing your breath, observing the sensations around your hips. Now we'll incorporate Cowface arms. So you can place your strap over one of your shoulders. And now reach your right arm out in front of you, push the fingers away, and then bring it all the way back behind you until it won't go back anymore. There you can turn your thumb down, bend your elbow, and come to hold your strap. Have your hand somewhere along your spine. Of course, the higher up your hand is, the more intense this will feel. Then left arm reaches up, bend your elbow and find your strap. And you can walk your hands a little closer to each other, maybe. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. So figure out that point that helps you stay within 50 to 60% of your capacity. That point where you're not forcing, you're not white knuckling your way through this. We also want to keep this top elbow pointed up. So choose a position that still allows you to do that, and one where you can keep your spine nice and straight, so no crouching over here. And once you feel ready, commit to stillness. Find your breath. This pose, of course, is a really great way to open up your shoulders. It helps to straighten your upper back, so it's really good for your posture. You're also opening up your chest, allowing deeper breaths in. You're doing really good. This pose can feel intense. Remember your commitment to stillness as best you can. You're almost there, just a few more breaths. Now you can remove your grip from the strap. Slowly bring your hands back. We'll pause here for a moment, keeping your legs as they are. Now we'll take this pose into a twist by bringing the right hand behind us close to the tailbone and hook your left arm to your top knee. Inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale to slowly rotate. So eventually you might look back over your right shoulder. We'll stay here for about 1 minute. Come back to center and you can slowly unravel your legs. Again, we'll release with some windshield wipers. And now we'll repeat on the opposite side. So this time your left foot comes across to your right hip, and maybe your right foot comes across to your left hip. Again, we're not sitting on our feet. And we'll give ourselves a moment here, remembering that both sides of the body can feel very different. So we have to tap in and see what's happening here. Now we'll incorporate Cowface arms, so your strap can come back to your shoulder. Left arm reaches out, push it away, and then bring it back behind you. Turn your thumb down and hold your strap. Right arm comes up, find your strap, and then walk your hands towards each other. Again, both sides of the body are very different, and it's normal to feel much more flexible on one side of this pose than the other. So choose whatever distance works for you. Keep your top elbow pointed up, spine is nice and long, and we'll stay here for 3 minutes. You can release your grip from your strap, slowly coming back. Stay here for a moment. Now we'll twist to the left. So your left hand comes back behind you, right arm hooks to your knee. Inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale to rotate, just one vertebrae at a time. You can come back to center, unravel your leg. And we'll be lying down for the rest of this routine. So if you want to come on down to lie on your back, you can do that. And when you're there, release those poses by doing some windshield wipers. And if it feels good to pause at any point, feel free to do that. Now you can grab your strap and place it around the sole of your right foot. Now hold the strap with your right hand and your left arm can relax. We'll keep the left leg long, but if you want this pose to be a little bit less intense, you can take a bend into your left knee. And try to keep your right leg and your right arm straight. So we're targeting the hamstring here, feeling that nice deep stretch. We'll stay here for 3 minutes. Try to relax your grip using the minimum amount of strength necessary. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Connect to your breath and keep sending your breath into the tiny little fibers of your hamstring. Figure out which point is asking for your breath the loudest and send your breath in there. Take your last few breaths here like this. And now we're going to open the leg over to the right side of your room. And it doesn't matter how far your foot goes here. We still want to keep the right arm and leg straight. And don't look over at your right foot. And if it ends up just resting on the floor, that's okay too. So you're targeting your hamstrings from a different angle here, maybe feeling it around your inner thigh. And we'll stay like this for 2 minutes. Lift your right leg back up to center now. And from here we'll come into cat pulling its tail. And we're going to keep our right foot around the strap. But this time you can take the strap into your left hand. Bring your right foot over towards the left and allow your hips to stack on top of each other. So your left hip will be over your right. Keep both of your shoulders grounded. So especially this right shoulder, we want to make sure it's still touching the mat. And then take a bend into your bottom leg, which is your left leg. And you might be able to reach down with your right hand and hold your left foot. So now we've incorporated a spinal twist. You're still feeling that sensation around your right hamstring and glutes. And maybe you're even feeling sensation in your left quad. If you want to go deeper into the pose, you can look over towards your right. And we'll stay here for 5 minutes. You can start to unravel the pose now, slowly coming back. You can remove your right foot from the strap. Give yourself a moment in the center. Feeling everything slot back into place. We'll repeat on the left side now, so you can wrap the strap around your left foot and hold it in your left hand. Leg and arm are straight. And we'll stretch the hamstring like this for the next 3 minutes. Trying to keep your leg and arm straight without forcing anything. A few more breaths like this. Now you can open your left leg out to the left, keeping it straight. If you need to lengthen your grip on the strap, that's doable. And we'll stay here for 2 minutes. Now it's time to bring that left leg back up. Hold the strap in your right hand and make your way into cat pulling its tail by bringing your left foot over to the right. Stack your hips so your left hip is over your right. Make sure both shoulders stay grounded, especially your left shoulder. And then take a bend into your right knee so you can hold your right foot with your left hand. To go deeper, look over to the left. And you can experiment with what feels good for you in this pose here. You might enjoy keeping your left leg straight to feel that deeper stretch within it. If your mind has drifted away, that is totally human, very normal. Just bring it back to your breath. figure out the sensations you're feeling. We'll be here for about 1 more minute. You can unravel yourself from the pose, removing your strap. When you are back in the center, you might be happy with stillness, or you might feel the need to do some windshield wipers, or maybe to release your lower back by giving yourself a hug. Let's do whatever you need to do. And we'll spend the last 5 minutes of the pose of the practice in Shavasana pose. So make yourself as comfortable as possible. You can always put a blanket over yourself if needed. It might be tempting to skip this part of the practice, but I really encourage you to stay and gift yourself these few minutes of stillness and silence. Allow your body to take up lots of space. Relax your jaw, your facial muscles. Feel the back of your head grounding into the mat. Relax your shoulders. And feel everything from your shoulders to your fingers, all dropping into the mat. Relax your chest, your belly, your hips, your entire spine. And feel your hips dropping into the mat. Relax everything from your hips to your toes, feeling your legs growing heavier. And stay here for the next few minutes, feeling your body getting heavier and heavier. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out of the pose. And you can slowly bring some awareness back into your body, making gentle movements. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. But if you are ready to come out of the pose, you can come back up into a seat on your mat. And we will end our practice here. So well done for doing a full 90-minute yin yoga practice. It's not easy to take the time out to do that and then to do the full practice, to stay till the end. So well done for doing that. If you did enjoy the practice, leave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I have lots more practices just like this one, and I'd love to practice with you again in the future. But until then, take good care of yourself and goodbye.